You were the NHL's #1 star of the week last week, and you come out this week, and the first thing you do is go right to the front of the net and score a goal. Look, we've watched you play for a long time, Cam, and we know that you can get very streaky when your goals come and your points come. How good are you feeling in your game right now?
Yeah, feeling good. Playing with some pretty good players as well, which always helps. Been playing with those guys for probably a couple weeks now, so we're still kind of working out the kinks and tendencies on the ice, but I think we're doing a good job together. And you guys know me more than anyone. It's when I score goals, it's usually in the dirty areas, and I take a lot of pride in that.
You talk about the guys you're playing with, Jack Roslovic and Patrik Laine. Maybe ironically to some, I want to talk about Roslovic and the way that relationship's working with you and him. And he's a guy that you knew because he's from Columbus and he's always around in the off season. What clicks between you and Jack?
Yeah, I mean, we go way back. We used to have the same agent. We actually trained together, or at least use the same trainer in the summertime. He's an hour before me, so we see a lot of each other throughout the summer, and have obviously skated together for quite some time now. But I never really watched him. I knew obviously the skill set that he had, but didn't know to the level of what he's capable of doing. And it's when you have a centerman that's in the right position, especially on the breakouts, but wanting the puck and breaking the puck into the offensive zone, trying to make a play. And I mean, that makes the biggest difference for wingers, instead of obviously dumping it in and trying to go get it. I mean, obviously there's a time and place for that, but he's playing with a lot of confidence, and we're going to need him to continue that. For
a guy like you that is, you weren't born and raised in Columbus like Jack Roslovic was, but you're pretty much an adopted citizen here. You've made your home here with your family. What does it mean to you, or what do you think it means to the city is probably a better question, to see a guy like Jack coming in, playing in the NHL in his hometown, and having the early success that he has had with this franchise?
Yeah, it's huge for the city. Hometown hero kid. Obviously grew up playing here with the AAA program as well. And, it's unfortunate during these crazy times that there's no fans, because I think they would obviously appreciate it even more watching him in person. But it's great for the city, great for his family. And, it's just overall such a good feel-good story. So, would be a lot sweeter if we could bring some hardware back too.
Cam, congratulations on being the star of the week. A heck of a week for you. I want to ask you, you grew up looking up to Marty St. Louis. You get to work out with him as a young guy. Now you got Roslovic, who's looked up to you as a young kid when he was 14, 15 years old, and you're ahead now working out with him. What's that like from the other side?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I mean, it's like we talked about earlier, time flies. I've been here 10 years and, obviously been fortunate to play with a lot of good players and train with a lot of good players as well, like Marty, just to see his work ethic and, how not only how hard he trains, but how good he takes care of his body. And then just obviously on the ice in practice situations, how hard he pushes himself. And it makes you want to push just as hard watching him. So, for a guy like Jack, it's one of those things where, while you're in it, you don't really think about it until I guess you get asked that question. But, I just tried to lead by example with my work ethic, especially in practice. And, he sees me in the summertime training, and, hopefully there's something that I've done that makes him want to push just as hard as I'm pushing.
Well, you're a great example as a pro, so I'm sure he's a lucky guy to have you around. Goal scoring, streakiness. This is something I don't understand at any level. But can you take us through, because when you say every year when you do get going, you always say, I'm moving my feet more. You're always moving your feet. But what does that mean to you when you can say, I feel like I'm moving my feet more?
Yeah, I mean, it might sound cliche. It's, for me, when I'm going and feeling good, I'm going toward the puck and toward the play, helping my teammates out, not only breaking out the puck, but obviously in the offensive zone and, those little area plays, those 5-foot passes, just kind of working off each other instead of kind of being away in the distance and hoping that the puck's going to come to me on the other side. There's a big difference between hoping for something and making it happen. And I think when I'm going, I want the puck. and if I don't have it, like I'm putting myself in a situation to get the puck back or get a shot on net.
This may sound too simple, but I have sometimes I watch like training camp and players coming out of the August skates and you know, when things start to dial up, I honestly think, and tell me if I'm wrong, that sometimes scorers forget how hard it is to score. Like there's an extra level of work that comes in the game with the battles and the fights and the stuff you don't do during the off season that you forget. Am I somewhere in the right ballpark there?
No, you're 100% spot on. I mean, there's only so much you can do in the summertime, you know, that exemplifies the same situation to game-like situation. You know, it's in the summertime, no one's really on you. You're able to, you know, want to know what the goalie, and for the most part, you're able to see where you want to shoot for a couple seconds, where in a game-like situation, you have a half a second, not even. But for me growing up, I mean, I've always been fortunate to score goals, but I don't think it was until it was college where I really, you know, even in practice, I shoot to score first drill, you know, and I tell guys that a guy like Roslovic or a guy like Sherwood, who I skate with in the summer, you know, for me, if I'm scoring in practice, it's always a good thing, but I go hard. I mean, I try to, you know, even if the goalies aren't warmed up, I try.
No mercy.
Yeah, no mercy. It's kill or be killed. So it just kind of puts my mind in a good spot as far as shooting the puck and, you know, just feeling good about scoring goals.
Let's talk about the power play, which has kind of come back to life here recently. They had you in the spot where John Tortorella calls it that middle spot, and a lot of people call it the bumper spot there. They had you in that position, which was different than what we've seen you in the past, but now you're back on the flank where you're used to being. What was it like, you know, just trying to make that transition? And what was it about it that you didn't like? And are you more comfortable back where you're used to being?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here long enough where I've played almost every position. And, you know, every year is a different year. And the bumper guy, it's a tough position. You know, I think of a guy like Sam Gagne, who was probably the best bumper guy that I've ever been a part of. And, you know, he knows what he wants to do with the puck before the puck even comes to him. You know, for me, I'm a shooter, right? So the most confident where I am at is where I'm at now. And that's on the flank where, you know, I can come down with speed and shoot. And I just see the ice so much better on that specific flank side. And it's funny because when Gagne was here and our power play was, you know, one of the best in the league, and I was on the left side, my one-timer spot, I never really scored a lot of one-timers because, you know, that wasn't really my job. My job was to kind of find the seams and clean up the rebounds in front of the net and put myself in a position to kind of anticipate where I think the puck's going to go. And obviously I scored a lot of goals just because our power play was clicking. And then I was there this year, and it was only a couple years ago or 3 years ago, but it's amazing how uncomfortable you feel in that situation when before I was like, this is my spot. I love this spot. I would never want to play anywhere else. But now it's funny, you know, now I'm in a different spot on the other flank, and I feel like I can't play anywhere else except that spot. So, yeah, it's just, I love that position, and we're going to work on it today. And the units, I think, have changed a little bit, but I'm still in that spot, and that's where I'm most confident.
Let me ask you about the defensive play, because one thing about you utilize your speed to play the 200-foot game. You've always done that. You're a great back checker. But overall, when you look at this season, if there's been one thing that has stood out, it has been the moments where there's lack of defense. You're coming off a game where Carolina scored 7 against you, and there's been games you've had 6 scored against you. There was a game in Chicago where you outscored the Blackhawks, but they still got 5. What's going on defensively with this team? What isn't tightened up that needs to be to get back to how you played in the past?
Yeah, I mean, Carolina, you look at the way they played against us, and that's how we play. And for whatever reason, we show it in spurts, or 40 minutes or 55 minutes, but we've never really played a full 60 minutes that style. And for whatever reason, I can't really pinpoint, but what makes us successful is playing that hard nose. The blues are so important. And it's one of those things where, it's in order for us to score goals, we have some skill, no question, but we get a lot of our goals in front of the net, making it hard on their goalie, battling to those areas to get the puck back for a greasy rebound. And obviously on the other end, making it hard for opponents to get to our crease. And I talked about it after the game in Carolina and what makes us successful. And we need to be dirtier in those areas. And it's not, fighting or it's hard to put it, but it's just having good sticks and making it hard for them to get to the dirty area where all the goal scorers want to get to. And that's the middle of the ice. We have to find a way to keep them on the perimeter. And I think a lot of our success will come from that and breaking the puck out. And, you give a couple cross checks to the ribs or to the back of a guy trying to get to the net, and it's amazing. Maybe they won't go there next time, or they'll take an easy, harder route to get to it. So it's little things like that our team is successful on that, and it's just playing hard nose and that blue collar style hockey.
Cam, I want to ask you again about the power play again, and I'm really curious about this. So why aren't you playing with Roslovic and Laine on the power play? I mean, do you guys have a conversation? Those are your line mates. You guys work well together. You could play on that flank. You guys ever have that conversation?
Yeah, I actually talked to Torts about that in Chicago. He changed it up today, so I'm on that flank side where Domes is playing, and I get he's obviously he's the coach, so he makes the decision, which obviously you respect it. It's trying to get guys going in certain situations and letting them feel the puck. And listen, I would have loved to be in that spot in situations, but I also want certain guys to get going and feeling good about their games too, because it's only ultimately going to help us out. But yeah, no, it's I'm playing with them starting today. We're going to work on it, and I'm on that flank side, and obviously Jack's in the middle, and Line is on his one-timer side. So, just building that chemistry on 5-on-5, and hopefully we continue to build it even more on the power play.
Yeah, that always makes sense to me. So that excites me. The other thing is, when Panarin was here and Bobrovsky, you used to leave the zone way quicker. I mean, you used to create odd man rushes. You used to get on the weak side or the strong side, and you were gone. Are we going to see more of that? I mean, is that something that's taken out of your game? I feel like it puts a real threat on the defenseman.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I feel like I've showed a little bit of that in the last couple of weeks, especially playing with Jack and Patty. And, I'm still learning Patty's tendencies and vice versa. And, he's a hell of a passer. He's found me a couple times 3-on-2 where I should have scored. So it's still learning that. And I mean, obviously in Chicago, we had one of those where I slash across and where Jack ended up scoring. So we're still kind of learning and figuring out the kinks, but absolutely. I mean, when he has full possession, I try to stay wide and get going, and he'll find me or slash across. I gotta do a little bit more of that, and I will.
Is he a little bit like Panarin for you, or is he totally different? Excuse me.
No, he's definitely very, he's similar in a lot of ways. People obviously know him for scoring goals, and he's got one of the craziest shots I've ever seen. Yeah. But he's a hell of a passer too, tape to tape for the most part. And, it took Panarin and I a little bit of time to really figure each other out. And once we did, we obviously were very successful, but it definitely didn't happen as quick as it's happening with me playing with Patty and obviously Jack.
Sorry, Bob, I got one more before you jump in there. There was an image on the bench. There was three guys looking at the iPad after a power play talking, and Laine was just sitting there, and he it looked like he was no nonsense. And I know the Finns are mostly no nonsense. Is he a real competitive guy that just wants to, those guys don't talk much? Is he one of those guys?
Absolutely. I mean, I sit next to him in the locker room on the road and obviously at home, and just trying to get to know him on a more personal level. And he's he speaks out when he wants to, and he's not going to hold back, which I like. But he's also quiet in a sense, and for him, he's a goal scorer, right? And he's like an Ovechkin in a way, where where he is, and you give him the puck in that spot, and there's a very good chance it's going to go in, or it's going to be a nice rebound for you. So, it's that no nonsense Finn mentality, and I personally like it. I think it's just that swagger.
When you said that it's coming quicker with you and Line than it did with you and Panarin, do you think that it's possible it's coming quicker because you played with Panarin? Maybe you're because I remember you always used to say, "Look, I got to learn to have my stick on the ice. He's always going to get me the pass." You were making adjustments in your game. Is it easier adjustments this time around because you've already played with that type of player?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I mean, for sure. And it's also, me growing as a player and maturing as a player. And, I've been here a long time and played with some really skilled, high-end skilled players. And, once you kind of play with a guy like that for a long time, you know what they're looking for and vice versa. And obviously having your stick on the ice is important, but putting yourself in a situation to get the puck. For me, I keep saying I like to get lost. I like to find those little seam areas, which I'm really good at. And, Line just has to find me and Jack as well. And they know that it's even in the offensive zone, it's, I'm going to support them, but as soon as they have the puck, I'm going to try to get lost and, just have my stick on the ice. Cause sure enough, even my last goal, that's kind of how it happened. It was a great play by Jack to pull up and find Patty. And when Patty shot it, they actually deflected it and my stick was on the ice and actually hit I don't even know if it was my blade or my shaft to my blade. And luckily it was right spot. Got a shot on that and cleaned up the rebound. So usually when you're playing with those good players, have your stick on the ice and good things happen.
All right, one more thing and I'll let you go. It looks like fans are going to get back into the building. Some fans, hopefully soon. What does that mean to you that there will be some people there? It seems like it's extremely unfun playing in these empty buildings. I know during the home games when we're there, it is just so weird and so different. How much you're looking forward to being at a home game and having some fans in the stands?
Yeah, I think we're all thrilled. I think every player, plays the game for the fans, and whether it's home and your fans are cheering you on or on the road, especially when they're booing you and you score a goal and you shove it in their face. So it's, I'm excited. I mean, I know it's only a little amount of fans, but some fans is better than nothing. So definitely looking forward to that. And the fifth line is going to be cheering us on like they always have. And hopefully we can, let that cannon go off.